Hey, all, my name is Kurt. I'm here with Trenton. Welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And today is another episode of Trenton's whatever he's got going on. Something secret. Something top secret.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit out of breath, but I did it again. You know,
Surprised me.
I have been known to procure some solid stuff that we review on here.
Well, that's
whether
true.
it's the Crown Apple 23, whether it's that Indiana race car one.
Please don't tell me we're going down that road.
No.
Those are some buttes, though. I will say that.
Yeah, definitely put me on the map in terms of my abilities. But I bought, again, this is the 2023 version of the Remus Gatsby 15 year.
You did?
I did, yeah. And we're...
Oh, all right. Well, last year's wasn't too bad.
No.
It just wasn't fantastic. I will say that. It's what I remember anyways. It had some, fairly neat notes. It was pretty non-assuming and, it was okay.
Do you want to have a non-assuming product for 15 years? The MSRP on this has not changed.
Well,
it is still $249.99.
Well, thank God it didn't change.
Right on par with the Voyage there. So I have not opened this yet. I just picked it up today. So we're gonna give it a shot and hope that it's better than last year. The box is a little bit less appealing than it was last year.
Keep in mind, last year wasn't bad at all. But in my opinion, I pretty much remember last year, in my opinion, for spending that kind of money, it wasn't great.
Well, we got the cork here.
Either.
It's got a little burn mark on top of it.
Well, send it back. Send it back to Harry.
Oh, actually? Okay,
Right.
There's dust on it, so it might be that I just inhaled the dust, but it smells pretty dusty and delicious. I'm hoping that this is 15-year MGP. This is from Ross and Squibb, which is MGP's
New name.
distillery kind of thing.
Okay.
I want to make sure that you get your fair share there.
Yeah, stop with that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Solid cork. I mean, the bottle design is still very neat.
I'll grant you that. Very nice bottle, very nice labeling. That I have to give him credit for that for sure.
This is also cast strength as it was last year, 98.1 proof. Just bump that proof up for me, just a tad.
Yeah, and I do remember that being. I do now. I didn't remember before you mentioned it, but I do remember the lower proof, but also being cask strength.
Yeah. Something about...
All right.
I'm a sucker for some packaging, but also I want this to be better than last year's. I love MGP. I think they do great stuff, and for a 15-year from MGP to be available, I mean, this is a very steep price for that kind of age.
Yes, it is.
I'm not trying to make excuses for them or anything, but I want it to be good. Probably because I paid money for it.
There's so much in my glass I can't even roll it without trying to spill it.
I wanted to make sure that you could get the aromas a little bit in there.
Well, I appreciate you. How's that? That's pretty good. Actually, it's pretty good.
Did I give you last year's, or do I have that at home? We should have done a side by side.
We should have. You have.
Yeah. Shame.
I'm sure I wouldn't have kept that one.
No? Oh, come on.
No, I don't think so. It's almost got a little bit of butterscotch in there, Trenton. I'm not lying. It almost does. It's got some hints of butterscotch, caramel, and it's got...
It smells kind of dusty.
Yeah. It does have some age in there.
Honestly, it kind of just smells like a rick house. If you've ever been on a bourbon tour or any kind of tour at a distillery that produces whiskeys or anything, it smells very much exactly like a rick house.
Very reminiscent of that. Yeah, that's a good one, Trenton. It's actually very nice.
I'm hoping that the palate is as good.
Me too, because if the aromas are any indication, it's already better than last year's.
Yeah. Well, I know
that's very nice.
Paul, our good friend Paul.
Oh, yes.
He purchased one of these today.
He did?
He did.
All right.
So I hope for his sake and ours that it's good.
All right, Paul. Cheers to you, sir.
All right. There it is.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
Wow.
Really, honestly.
First sip. So it's even 98 proof, but it's catching my breath a little bit there on the first sip.
Drinks a little bit more like a 105er.
Yeah,
like
it drinks a little bit
higher.
above proof, but again, first sip, so I'll confirm that here in another sip or two.
Initially, like initial thoughts, and this is a neck pour, the nose transfers to the palate quite well, and I'm surprised because last year I can't remember last year if the nose was good and the palate was just kind of a bummer, but for something like this, especially at the proof, for it to really catch your eye or nose or whatever, whatever with the metaphor,
in the sip, yeah, for sure.
and then transfer, that's a nice change of
Yeah,
pace for
I
this.
still, as of last year too, I think if I remember correctly, there were some black tea notes in there too. I'm still getting some black tea notes on the palate. A little bit of tiny herbal black tea note in there, but the butterscotch kind of went away for me. That was strictly in the aromas, a hint of that. I don't get that on the palate.
See, this is a weird one because like when I first take a sip, it's pretty thin, then it like thickens towards the end. It's kind of weird in that regard. You see what
I do.
I like that black tea note though.
I'm kind of going down that road too, Trenton, where it's a little bit of dates, type of a flavor note there as well. Maybe slight prune, date, black tea.
I kind of got that on the initial smelling, nosing, nose palate, whatever you want to say. And it's nice that it's a little bit more front and center in the palate than I did get on the nose.
I think the depth, and I'm just playing off my brain right now, but I'm thinking the depth is coming from a molasses note is what's giving you that depth. The black tea, prune, date, a little bit of molasses there, because it's not a real sweet note. This isn't super sweet. It's somewhat sweet, but not super sweet. So I think the sweetness that's coming is a little bit of that darker molasses note in there for me.
It's actually, I was not expecting it to be this good. I will say that I was expecting, hopefully, just a smidge above last year's. This is one of the ones, and I'll say this now, it is not $250 good. So
it has to be, for me, it has to be over the top good for me to say, wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I spent that $250.
If I tasted this and you were like saying how much would you pay for this? I'm probably at around $100. 120
Sure.
Be about my price range.
Sure.
So cut this price in half.
Yeah.
Great buy.
Yeah.
For them to come up with something like this as opposed to last year, that's got to be a win in my book for keeping that same price point here and the feedback that they got and then charging the same. This is a heck of a lot better.
Yeah,
than
it's
what's last year.
definitely elevated. It's a more elevated sip than last year. That's a fact. And here's my thought process, Trenton. Again, we spoke about the money part of it, and I'm in agreement with you. $100 or maybe even a little more because the presentation is beautiful. I mean, that would look...
Kind of tastes like a fruit roll-up now. You're like
Really?
a strawberry fruit roll-up.
All right. Well, you finished yours. I still got more left. Here you go.
Oh, you're not going to finish all that?
Probably not.
Oh, come on. That's good stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, I can't say too much more about it.
Well,
It's got...
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Apologize.
No, you go ahead.
I'll finish what I was saying there. For me, it is a beautiful bottle. It'll look beautiful on the shelf. There's no question about there. It is a good, solid whiskey. Am I wrong? It's good. It's good whiskey. Really, really is. I think it would really connect with those who are not able to appreciate at this point in their journey the higher end proof points, 120, 130 proof.
Yep.
There's some folks out there that may or may not even ever appreciate a higher proof bourbon like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of folks do, but there's some out there that don't. Absolutely do not. This is something I think that would offer quite a bit of flavor at a lower proof point.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely more robust flavor profile than last year. There's no question about that. So that's my 2 cents.
It's a shame that it's the price point that it is, but we could argue that all day long. I think in terms of the stuff that's inside, pretty solid. Price, not so solid. Take that for what it's worth. If you see one of these, you didn't get the chance to buy one last year, I think you'd be better off buying this year's than last year's if you were upset you didn't get last year's. I think you'd kind of dodged a bullet with last year's, I'm not going to lie. It was
I 100% agree.
a complete miss from MGP. But
Yeah.
decent job on this one.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, actually.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. And once again, I'm going to let Trenton take this home.
No, you don't have. I have enough. I have the last year's one. You sure you don't want to display that around?
It might look good on the shelf, Trenton.
It would,
It
yeah.
might look good. I'll take one of those down, but it might look good.
Oh, yeah. This is yours, man. This is all you.
Well,
I got.
whew, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just
Thanks
nice.
for thinking of me.
Yeah, I gave away that Crown Apple 23
I know
to my
you
good
did.
friend Tristan. He's enjoying that at home.
Good for him. He really liked it too.
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm going
why
to be
not?
generous and give this to you as well.
Wow.
That's just the kind of guy I am.
What a generous fella.
I know.
Yeah. When he brings over a George T. Stagg and gives it to me, then we'll talk.
Touche.
Just kidding. Trenton is very generous. Trust me when I tell you that. All right. That's all we got for you today. And honestly, when you put that on the bar top,
You were upset.
not upset, but I was like, no, man, no.
Not again.
But I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So, all right. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time, right down here with Trenton and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.